So this is my front yard. It's mid-August 2017. It's 110 degrees in the sun today. It's just incredibly hot. I don't even know what to say. It's so hot. We haven't had rain. It's rained once in the last 56 days. And it was a 3-inch rain, so, that's really good, but let's be honest. That's once in the last 56 days. So this is the front yard, and it was built for the summer. So this right here is a canyon dweller. And this tree and these trees almost act like a canyon. This is almost like a canyon. And so when I was considering this right here, except for the mountain laurel, I was putting that there regardless. When I was considering things that would grow here, I put things that would grow in a canyon. This is a Salvia microphala, something like that. And it is a hot lips, and it grows in canyons. So as you can see, it's a very dense shade. It's about to come in the light. It'll be in the light for several hours, like 6 or 7 hours, and it'll go over the rim of the canyon. This is where my bluebonnets are, and I just wanted this here for some structure. So the bluebonnets are right in here. I like this, but there are better things I could put here. That is just kind of filler. It is to dissuade deer from coming this way. But I have enough other stuff over here that deer like that I don't know that I necessarily need this here. What I may end up doing is taking this other Salvia microphala, the one that's up here on the other side of the Texas sage, and putting it right here, like just kind of right here. Because again, it's a canyon plant, so it would do with this kind of sun. I mean, that's quite a bit of sun it would get from about 11:30 until 7. And you can see this one is doing good, way better than the one I'm about to show you. I don't have any mulch around this bed, only because there's wildflowers coming in here. So this is the Texas sage. This is a Silverado. And I have the Eldorado over there. This guy over here. Silverado here. And I love the Texas sage, and so I just wanted them far apart so that they wouldn't influence each other, but that they were close enough to be the structure for the garden. This is the other Salvia microphala. Man, this thing was really hurting before I got this mulch here. I mean, it was really not liking this spot. It is doing much better now. I mean, it is the heat of the summer, and this thing is doing really well now. It, again, is a canyon plant. I wasn't sure if this one would grow here, but it does say it could grow in full sun, so I thought I'd try it. So you can see the sun comes up over here, right there. It gets the first early morning rays, and then the sun goes down over here, and that's about 7 o'clock right there. So you can see that this plant gets full sun, and it's doing very well. Same thing here. The Texas sage would do well, though. I love this area that we've created. This looks very dense. These are two different oak trees. This is a live oak, and this is an escarpment live oak. So said by the arborist. I don't know that. I talk like I know. We put a bench under here. You can see there's a little bird poop on it. Thank you, bird. Put a little bench under here, and we've created a nice room. You can see there's a nest way up there. There's a big nest. There are birds all in these trees. There are nests all over these trees. And this is a roost for a lot of birds at night. When birds don't have a nest, they roost in these trees. Hummingbirds, I think the hummingbird nest has got to be over here, because I see them come over here, and when they see me over here, they freak. Maybe this is it. Is this the hummingbird nest right here? Is that it? And that right there? Possibly. Yeah, the hummingbirds lose it whenever they see me over here. They kind of panic and look at me funny. And so anyway, we really like this room right in here, and I am going to let these limbs just continue growing down. You can see the area. I do water these trees. I water them between them in the drip line, and so you see this area here, and then there's another area right there, right on this side of that stump. And I water it in both of these areas. It's kind of, like I said, it's between both trees and the drip line. And they're responding. Wow, they're growing The first year I did nothing out here. Just as a reminder, I didn't do anything. And I watched, and these trees grew about, I measured it, it was 8 inches on average. The average branch was growing 8 inches down. And this year you can see that the new growth on this is far more than 8 inches. I don't know if you know how to read the new growth on a live oak, but if you do, just look. I mean, that's way more than 8 inches. And it's got to be the supplemental water. That's at least 12 to 14. I could measure it, but that might even be 16 inches in some cases. Nah, probably 14, 12 to 14 inches. You know, that's normal for a live oak. And so if I keep that up, then you can see this is going to be completely screened inside of 2 years. All of the branches will be down, it'll be completely screened. This is a new bed, and this is eventually just going to be the tree. Right now, you could walk through here. If you wanted to, you could walk through here. But eventually the tree's going to come in and cover this, and the walkway will be right here. I wanted people, again, to walk around the garden. And so here I'm going to put some shade-loving stuff. I'm either going to put one big one and let it go this way, kind of hang out into the walkway, or I'm going to put 3 smaller ones or something like that. Sticking into the tree because it is 100 outside already. This stump is really cool. My next door neighbor who got evicted gave us this, and it is a very cool piece. I am trying to keep it in the shade as much as possible. I also am cognizant of this little thing here that, you know, in the dark, this could be deadly, right? Not deadly, but bad for the eyes. So I'm cognizant of that thing. But this little bed right here is doing really well. These are tropical sage. Last year I planted 17 of them here. 6 of them came back, 1 of them died. There's a hole right here because I thought I misidentified a plant. There was a bunch of these growing up in some 4-inch containers that just came up, and a verbena came up with these. And when a verbena is small, the leaves kind of look like this. And so I just misidentified it and I put it here. But they're liking it here. You can see the ones that get a little bit more sun. You can see they're liking it less. The ones that get more shade are doing extremely well. I really hope these come back next year, but because I have the mulch here, I'm not so sure. I had asked them to leave just leaves here. So these, I believe, are annuals. I don't think these are perennials. So if they don't come back next year, then I'm going to have to put something else here. I'm also going to put something right here. I'm going to put something right here. I don't know what, but it's going to be low growing and spreading right there. That needs some structure in a plant. I might possibly put a small something right here that can tolerate shade right next to this. But ultimately, I'm going to keep this out of the way of the tree branches. I don't want the branches knocking into this. And this is a really nice piece. I really like this thing. This is an old cypress, or an old tree root. Cedar, probably not cypress, probably cedar is what I'm told. And it was in a river bottom. So if you see, that's the root structure that would go down. And this is the trunk that would go up. But I just obviously flipped it over. My front yard. I'm so proud of this. This was all grass. When I moved in, this was all grass. And this is mid-August. It is mid-August. This yard was designed for this, and it is doing perfect. I want to tell you, this Mexican marigold is really surprising me. I'm going to get another one or divide this and put it right here. I need 3 of them anyway, just for the structure. This is a volunteer, and it is not going to be able to stay here because this thing is going to get rambunctious and big, and it's going to grow way into these 2. So this guy's got to go. I could only just move him 12 inches, but I'm probably going to give him to a neighbor. I've got a lot of these, and I'm going to have a lot of them. You can see the ferns here, the firecracker ferns. I'm going to get a 3rd one of these too. I didn't know that I had space for it because I wasn't sure what was going to happen with the Esperanza that was over here. But now that I know I have space, I'm going to put another one right here. So I'll do that in the summer or September or whatever. I'll put another one right here. And these are supposed to be evergreen. I've got a lot more evergreen structure in here this year. I've got like a little horseshoe of it right here. These milkweeds are phenomenal. Love these guys. I grew them from seed, and this is their third year, I believe. Second year. I don't remember. Second year. Yeah, they came back. This is their second year. They're supposed to take 3 years to reach full maturity and bloom. But wow, they're doing great. There are 8 of them that came back, and there's 7 of them, 7 or 8, and they're really bushy and full. I'm really happy with that. I wanted some milkweed in this butterfly garden. I also have some purslane here. This was a volunteer, and I allowed it to grow because it is edible, and I like that. Blackfoot daisy was getting devoured by the deer. Now it started doing well, and you can see it's liking that spot. This is Greg's mist flower right here, and four nerve daisy, another four nerve daisy over here. These are the best butterfly plant ever. That's all I can say. When my kids walk outside, often they take pictures and video of all the butterflies around because they're just amazed, and they send it to their friends. Something happened to this Greg's mist flower. I wonder if it got stepped on or something happened to this mist flower. But regardless, I'm watering it. There is part that's coming back. I'm going to have to get in here and trim it. It just happened a couple years ago. I suspect it happened with a mulch. More four nerve daisy here. I did have another Esperanza here, but I think this Esperanza is just not quite in the tropical zone. I do have a tropical zone right here in my house because it's blocked by these big trees, and it's almost a microclimate. But when the wind can come around this corner and come in, it nukes these. You'll see this area will get it way worse. This area over here will get it way worse than this area. I think this one might have been just a little bit too far this way, and I put it here. I didn't put it here, but I got another one and I put it there. It is hurting right now. Again, it was on sale, and I had a whole bunch of gift cards to the Natural Gardener, so I bought it, and that's where the artichokes were. So it's on irrigation, and so that's why it's actually kind of doing well. So the four nerve daisy, I wanted more, and what I plan on doing is just put a big bunch of it right here. This is all going to be four nerve daisy. This whole thing right here. It is an evergreen, and it flowers even in December and January. So if I have a big enough bunch of it here, it will look like this whole garden is in bloom year round. I like that, especially because the Mexican mint marigold blooms, well into November, December. The lamb's ear. This is one of the things I have wanted since I very first got a garden, was lamb's ear. See, someone's eating that one right there. And it flowers. They're kind of small pink flowers. They're not really noticeable. What is noticeable is just amazing foliage. And this is how I get kids into the garden. I'll come over here and I'll pick one of these and hand it to the kid, and I'll say, rub that. And they go, oh my gosh, it feels like a puppy dog. And of course I get the youngest, most softest ears. And from that point they get into the garden right here, and they start talking, oh, I love this flower, and oh, what's that over there? So this is a good kid magnet. Moving on, this is the Pride of Barbados. It was put here on purpose. Spiller, filler, thriller. I want the thriller right in front of our house. This is where I want it. This is going to be the only high maintenance plant for me because I want to keep it looking nice because it's right at the front door. Continuing with this bed, these chives just grew up from the mulch. So yeah, okay, you're pretty tough, man. I'll let you grow. I grew him from seed. Blackfoot daisy here. You can see the irrigation pipe coming in. That's the only reason I could even pull that off. This is the verbena. Wow, that was interesting. That was a cicada that just flew out. This is the verbena right here that I told you I misplanted. This will look nice. Blackfoot daisy and verbena and the Esperanza. That'll be a nice little border. The Esperanza is going to come all the way out. Obviously, you can see how wide this one's getting. And right here, that's going to be a Mexican mint marigold. I'm not sure what I'm going to do right here. I could put several things, but they're probably going to be low-growing border stuff. Let's get back in the shade for a little bit. This is the front walkway, and you can see the third bamboo muley is doing very, very well. This was a cut. This is its parent plant right here. I wanted to put it next to the parent plant because I figured they would probably do well together. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to divide off this portion of it, and I'm going to take this guy out, and I'm going to put it right here. This compact Yaupon is not my favorite plant. I really want to keep it just because of what it is, It's a compact Yopon, and it takes really long time to grow and everything, but I don't really like the plant. So I think I'm going to get rid of it. Whoa. Most people think it's a Japanese boxwood anyway. Most people think it's this, and it's not. So we're going to take that out. And this guy is going to come out too. I think what I'm going to do is I see how far this guy's growing this way. See how far he's going this way? I'm going to let him grow this way too. I'm going to let this guy fill in right here. So I'm going to take him out. I'm going to take him out. And I'm going to divide this guy and hope they play nice. Put it right here. It's the same plant. It should play nice with itself. You can see here I've got some native, what is this again? The Christmas plant. The Texas, you know, the red thing. Penstemon, not persimmon. Oh, that red plant that people give away at Christmas. Mistletoe, not mistletoe. This is it right here. This is a native version of it. You can kind of see the poinsettia. This is a native version. You can kind of see the leaves. The deer like this, and so I'm just letting it grow native. I've got a whole bunch of them that popped up, a whole bunch of them. It popped up everywhere, and I'm letting them all grow. There's one back here. I think this is really cool. It's a native poinsettia, so I'm going to let them grow and flower. This is from my next door neighbor. They got evicted. She left these on my lawn, and you know, it is what it is. It's beautifying my garden right now. I'm going to leave them here. I'm going to start taking the others. This is a succulent pot. I'm going to turn this into a succulent pot right here. I can still have, if I want vegetables and herbs, I can still have that. Like, I've got pots for that. But this is a succulent pot. I think it's made for big succulents like this aloe vera and stuff. So I'm going to put succulents in here. Same thing here. I am going to put succulents in here. I'll probably have to trim this back a little bit, but the airplane plant's going to go inside. So yeah, that's what I got going on here. These are my ferns. I have this just because I like ferns and really kind of to show off, because all of this is xeric. This is all desert, and then you come up and it's like, oh, but here's the oasis. This is a succulent, and yes, I know it doesn't need to be there, but I haven't moved it yet. These ferns are really awesome, and this bog plant I think needs more sun. So what I'm going to do is just kind of move everything forward a little bit and give this more room right here, give this fern more room. And so I think when I move everything forward that this bog plant will come back. It's just been struggling the whole time. And I wanted the vertical structure as opposed to the wispy structure, but I might have to just kill it. This is a river fern. I have had this fern forever. It has never grown this well. I'm so happy about this little fern right here. This is a native fern that I don't know why it couldn't grow, but I've never had any. Maybe because I grow everything xeric. That's probably why. More succulents. These ones are going to stay with us. My next door neighbor, she asked me what I wanted for keeping her plants. I said these, and she said done. So here we have it. I'm going to put more cuttings in here. Maybe even change out some of those pots. I'll probably change out with this pot right here. Take this pot over there. Take this pot over there. But yes, these are going to transition to me. There's a lot to talk about in the front yard now. I can't believe this. This is native dill, not native. This is dill, but I say native because it came up from those plants last year. I can't believe it. I'm really kind of sad because this is not staying open. I'm closing this off so I don't have to weed it, which means I'm not going to have any more dill come up from seed anymore. But I do have some pocket plantings here, so dill could come up where it is pocket planted. So I don't know, maybe I'll get a couple over here, but I kind of like that. The dill just kind of came up. And this is another Greg's Mistflower put in a different kind of location. This location gets significantly more shade, and you can see it does not bloom anywhere near as well. These rocks are going to get moved in my garden. These are going to be my rocks eventually. So this is, oh my gosh, Mystic Sage, Mystic Spires, and it's doing pretty well. I just trimmed it back, deadheaded. I did not deadhead the Jerusalem Sage. There's no need to, I guess. I really like the seed pods. It's kind of, I just love this plant. It's very interesting. The flowers are interesting, the seed pods are interesting, the foliage is interesting. Mexican bush sage is killing it. You know, what else do I need to say? Look at all the new growth. This thing's gonna bloom so killer in the spring, in the fall, and I do nothing. I don't water it. I don't do anything to it. This is the Flame Acanthus, doing really well. You can see it's seeded out already. I've considered maybe I should deadhead this. I don't know if you can deadhead Flame Acanthus if it'd work out. So you can see that I've kind of created a little path through here. I'm envisioning closing this path off right here with the plant. There'll be something right there. And this is going to be the new entryway right here. This offers me a hose guide right here. I can use these as hose guides. And you can kind of see they're spaced well enough that you can use this as an entryway. I'm going to have to trim some of this stuff, you know, but you can use this as an entryway. This guy's going to get dug up and moved. He's a volunteer. He's going to get dug up and moved to a neighbor or something like that. It's a pass along plant, I guess. This is another, I'll step back a little bit. This is another really cool stump that our next door neighbors we got evicted gave us. And I just like the way that looks. It is a cool structure. I think I probably need to pull it back though, out of the sun a little bit. You know, this spot right here, I've had real troubles with growing stuff right here in this area. I think this Mexican feathergrass has just about had it. The ants got it. I've had real trouble with that. But you can see the feathergrass over here is doing well. You can see the verbena over there is doing well. Ooh, a lot of mulch here. You can see the Texas sage is doing well. And another Flame Acanthus and Gulf Muleys. So, front yard is looking really, really good this time of year. I'm enjoying spending time in the garden. On the side, we have chili piquins. This is a Yaupon holly, and I planted this here just as a screen for the chili piquin bed. This fence will eventually have the gate moved over here. Gate's gonna be right there, eventually. This is my chili piquin garden. You can see all the berms here, strategically laid out based on the irrigation. First, I wanted to block the irrigation, and secondary was everything else because there was more water coming here. So I've got these two berms here to stop or slow the irrigation water, keep it on the property as long as possible. There's a little, probably a 4-inch catch basin in front of each one of these berms. Oh, you can kind of see it right here, I guess. This berm got torn up last night by something that got chased away, but maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. There's a little catch basin here. It's only about 2 inches now. Probably got filled in with mulch, but it's only about 2 inches now. But there's a catch basin in front of the berm, so it catches water right there, right in front of all the plants. You know, these chili piquins are doing really well. I had to install a Defender over here. This is a pretty cool toy. Show you what she does. I love this thing, actually. Let's turn it on. Daytime. Watch this. So anyone coming in this area will get nuked. And there's multiple settings. I just turned it to night so that I can now walk in front and won't get shot. But you see what that did. At nighttime, you don't know where that's coming from, and that's coming hard and right in your face because I don't know if you noticed, but the spray was just over the plants. See how this is at an angle? I did that so I could put the spray right over the top of the plants, and I'll adjust it as need be. But right now, the spray is just hitting these leaves right here. So I think that this is a pretty good defense system. I like it. So far, so good. You never know. Maybe the deer eventually say, hey, I walk over there and I get a drink. It's kind of nice. Pulled out 2 Photinias over here. Just too much. They actually look better already. Believe it or not, there's not as much chlorotic space in there. And I'd be willing to bet they like the air circulation in there. But you can kind of see there's one right there and one right there. Got cut out. No, that's the front yard. It's a lot to talk about because there's been a lot of work, and I'm very, very pleased with it so far. More to come. Still got some border stuff to put in, but looks good.